What is up, NSP Nation? Here again, week 13, fantasy football. For those of you who are trying to make the playoffs, you got 2 more weeks. So hopefully you got the dub this week, and hopefully that gets you just as much closer to making the playoffs as you need to be. But really, this is going to be based on how y'all want it. Of course, I don't know how y'all's leagues are doing. Do you still allow trades all the way up until playoffs? Do you cut off waivers at a certain time and you stick with the team that you got? There's so many different ways that fantasy leagues are played. Point system so different. The amount of drops that you can have per year is different. The amount of trades you can do is different. Everything like that. If it's dynasty, let me know. If it's keepers, let me know. If it's anything, let me know. But Trey Becker is already here. He says, late, or do you usually start at this time? Yeah, I'm a little late, but had some stuff to do. So I told AJ to let y'all know in the Discord that I'd be on at 7:15. Wouldn't miss this for the world, but I just had to delay it just a tiny bit. It also helps those who are getting back home from work. Everybody's time zones are different. We go off Central Time, but there's some people out there that go off, Eastern Time, Pacific Time, whatever, Mountain Time, all that other times. We're going live right now at 7:15. I will stay a little bit longer. Usually this is about an hour stream, but it's dependent on everybody who comes in and leaves some comments. So right now, let's get to this other comment. It says, crazy. I watched this and I'm not even in the league, LOL. Well, next year, bro, let us know. We're trying to grow our channel as much as we can so that we can get more people into different leagues. So let us know if you want to join one. We'll help you out through the whole thing. If it's your first fantasy football league ever, come to us. We want to get you in there. It's super fun, a lot of camaraderie building, and of course we just have fun with it. Again, if you end up sucking in the first year, there's always room to grow, but I've heard a lot of people that start, they call it the beginner's luck, fantasy luck there. I've had a couple friends who've played their first year in some of my leagues and they come in and win the whole dang thing. So anything is possible, just like Kevin Garnett said. But Brazil says, yo, what up, what up? But what's up, guys? Let me know any fantasy questions that you guys have. And of course, Brazil right here also says, this is my first year and I'm glad I did it. Yeah, so Trey, if you want to, just let us know. We'll get you in on the next league. We definitely want to grow them as well, moving some of them from 10 to 12 mans and possibly even making another whole league in its entirety. So that way we have more NSP leagues where everybody is, facing up against us. I don't think anybody from outside of NSP has ever won in our leagues, and this is the second year. So first year we did it. We clean sweep. We also had somebody named Gabe, who I'm pretty sure know. He was a part of NSP before too, and he won our gold league. So we have a gold league, we have a blue league, and I think we had another one, but it didn't get restarted this year because we didn't have as many fantasy players that were serious. At least we had a bunch of people saying that they wanted to play, but they never ended up sending us an email or anything like that. So again, let us know for next year. We are taking people are ready to lock you down in a league. Let's see. Tyler Sperry says, sorry for the kicker question base. Gonzalez or Sanders rest of the season? Let's see. So I know Sanders is the kicker for the Miami Dolphins, I believe. Jason Sanders. And Gonzalez, I think he's a new one, right? He's the one that's filling in. Let me check. I'm not familiar with Gonzalez, but I'm going to need to also pick up a kicker because what's his name? Oh, he's for Washington. Yeah, Zane Gonzalez, because I need to pick up a kicker because of Siebert. He just got put on IR miraculously because of that hip or whatever. I hate it. Austin Siebert was doing so well. He was the number one ranked kicker until this upcoming week when he missed 2 extra points and a field goal. Now he's on IR. So yeah, I also need to look for a kicker tonight. So I'll help you all the time. But let's see. I honestly think that Zane Gonzalez is not a bad pickup. Of course, we haven't really seen him too much, just those weeks when Siebert was out. 11 points, 5 points. But Jason Sanders is also not bad. The only thing there is that it's going to be based on the offense. So these past few weeks, he's been doing miraculous. Past 5 weeks, averaging above 10 points for a kicker. So I would say him most likely, but also don't sleep on Zane Gonzalez. So if you have the room, you want to keep 2 kickers, whatever, because of bye weeks and all that stuff. I think Miami's bye week should be done and over with, so you should be good there. But if you pick up Zane Gonzalez, Jason Sanders is a good guy to pick up after that. Let's see. He says it's Bass, Miami, Gonzalez, Commanders. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think, I got you. Bass. So Bass is for the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I didn't even see that in your comment. He said Bass, Gonzalez, or Sanders. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think I'm going to go with Jason Sanders. I love a kicker who's always going to be giving you like double-digit points. Sometimes Tyler Bass is like up and down. So that's what I kind of don't like. I want a guy that's consistent and is getting me points that are actually going to matter. Because you can have a kicker that's going to get you 5 points every week, and then you usually don't, compete too well because you want a kicker that's going to get you 10, 15, even sometimes like Boswell did, 28. Those are game changers. So if anything, I'm going to go with Jason Sanders. Brazil says, I'm down to join a league. Awesome. So go ahead and go into the Discord there since you're already in there. Instant message me, AJ, or Reed. You can do me or AJ. We're usually the ones that fill up the rosters there for fantasy, and we'll put you in. There's a money league and then there's a free league. So let us know which one you want to do. Since this is probably going to be your second year coming into this next season, just let us know how serious you want to get. Nothing expensive. All expenses go to getting you the last year's winner, which was Gabe, who used to be part of NSP, got a big old wrestling belt. So we paid with that with the funds that you guys input into the league. And then everything else goes to like second and third place where they get some prizes and some merch and all that stuff. So first, second, and third usually come home with some stuff. But yeah, so all the proceeds that you guys pay for the league go to that. We don't keep anything. Let's see. Yeah, Tyler Spray says it's Bass, Miami, Gonzalez, Commanders. Yeah. He says to start Devon, Vele, Leggett, or Pop Douglas. So I've really liked what Vele and what's his name, Leggett have been doing, but for some reason I'm just leaning towards Vele. He's so consistent, and I think that's why I'm going to keep him starting in the leagues that I have him. I have him in Dynasty, and he's kind of in one of my flex spots because we have 3 flex spots. So I really like him. He's just very consistent. The past 3 weeks, 13, 10, 14. He's going against Cleveland, who's not very good, and Bo Nix has been going insane. So I really do believe in Vele. Let me check on Leggett. I know he's been doing fairly well too since the Panthers are finally up and rolling. But the past 3 weeks, he's got past 4 weeks. I'll go 4 weeks. 13, 13, 7. He had the bye week, and then 9 against Kansas City. So he's getting in there too. When he doesn't get a touchdown, it's usually single-digit points. So that's why I'm leaning towards Vele there. I really don't like Pop. He's good, but in my opinion, he's just not better than these guys. He's very consistent in himself too, but I want Vele, who's actually going to be able to get up to like 15 points. If he gets a touchdown, sometimes he can score above that. So I think I'm going to go with Vele. I think the matchup is definitely good too. The Patriots are going to go against Indianapolis, who have a very, very strong defensive line at this point in time. And of course, Xavier Leggett and the Commanders are going against Tampa Bay. Could be a high-scoring game there since it's going to go back and forth. But the only thing that worries me there, again, is that strong defensive line. Of course, Denver going against Cleveland is also a strong defensive line, but in my opinion, it's not as bad. Let's see. Yeah, he said Tyler Spray says or Bass from the Bills. Yeah, with that one, I'm going to go ahead and go with Sanders. I still like him. He's more consistent in my opinion. So that's what I like. I like consistency with a lot of points. But if you have, if you have Vele, Leggett, and Pop in the flex this week, if you got those guys on your bench, that's a great bench to have because all those guys are going to be good when you have the bye weeks coming up. So especially week 13, week 14, these are the best times to have those guys who are very young and definitely getting going. Mr. Magic, what is up, my guy? He says, my guy. And I'm pretty sure he's going to bring a question over here right now, so I'll go ahead and wait for that. But while he does that, we'll see how long it takes him to type it up. I'm going to go ahead and go over my quarterbacks that I definitely think need to be on rosters. And of course, I'm going to start off with a guy I've been talking about for a long time. And of course, the only rookie that I was talking about used to be Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels got picked up in almost every single league, basically. But Bo Nix, if he is not on a roster in your league, he needs to be on a roster. I don't care if it's your roster. I don't care if somebody else's roster. If you have a 10, 12, 14, 16-man league and Bo Nix is out there, he should not be. Because Bo Nix is great. He's been averaging, I believe, 22 points these past 4 weeks or something. So the past 5 weeks is 29, 18, 16, 28, 19, all against tough defenses too. Carolina is when he scored 29. Baltimore and Kansas City, 18 and 16. Atlanta, not a very good defense at this point in time, 28. And the Las Vegas Raiders, where he didn't really need to do much after a while, 19. Like we already talked about Vele, he's going up against Cleveland. I'm really not scared of Bo Nix playing against his Cleveland defensive line because he's been phenomenal. He's a great pocket passer. He's great at eluding the sack and rush and everything. So I think he'll be fine. He's going to get a great amount of points. He's scoring a lot of touchdowns, not very many interceptions. He's a very, very good rookie at this point in time. He's definitely developed pretty well with the Denver Broncos. So really like it. Mr. Magic says, bro, I'm sitting in second on 5-game win streak, but my season could be in jeopardy with Purdy and Dobbins. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So I don't know what happened with Dobbins. I don't have him in any leagues, but I know he went down this past game. Sucks. Have they already said that he's going to be pretty much out? Or is it day to day because they're waiting on MRI and all that stuff? Let me know because I know it was possibly a knee. But he says, I'm probably going to play JSN over DK now. You should. JSN is not facing up against the majority of the time the number one cornerback, especially if the cornerback travels with DK. DK is, in my opinion, a more talented guy because of his physical attributes, but he's just being covered by the best of the best. And safety help is always there because DK is so big, so tall, so strong. And JSN benefits from it. And he's finally emerging here as the Seahawks pretty much wide receiver 1 at this point in time, as he's the 6th ranked wide receiver in yards receiving so far this year. Love to see it. He's been on a rampage these past 3 weeks. And I think he's going to continue because the Seahawks need to keep winning. Geno Smith's going to keep trusting him. A lot of out routes and in routes for him, but some posts sometimes and he gets them. So he's got great hands, great skills, great ball skills, everything like that. So I love him. I would play JSN over DK. In my dynasty, fun fact, I have both of them, and they're both starting. So call me a Seahawks fan, a little bit biased. But in that league, I'm 10-2. So number 1 in my league. What can I say? Let's see. Trey Baker says, Lions, Bills, Chiefs, still your top 3? You're going to have to wait till tomorrow, buddy. Tomorrow's when I record. Thursday. I'm gonna try to put it early on Thursday because everybody should be having some family time. So while you're getting ready, getting all spiffy, putting on some of your best clothes for Thanksgiving, hopefully something elastic, because you're gonna be eating. But as you're getting ready or something, waking up in the morning, you want to watch a quick video. I'm gonna try to make it short and sweet. So usually my videos are about 40 minutes. I'm going to try to make it 30. So that way it's not too long. You guys can quickly watch it. If you want to watch it later on, totally fine with me. But with the games also being pretty early on Thursday, they should be starting at 12, I believe. I could be totally wrong though. But there's 3 games on Thursday. So I want to get that video out before the games start. So that way you can go ahead and watch it. But yeah, Lions, Bills, and Chiefs, they won. So I'm pretty sure they'll stay top 3. Just a little hint there. We'll see, though. But he says, do you think Vidal is better handcuffed to Dobbins than Gus? There was a guy who went in for the Chargers, and I was like, who the heck is this guy? Hassan Haskins. They have him on the depth chart above Kimani Vidal right now. Depending on Gus Edwards as well, I thought he got good usage, but then this Hassan Haskins guy, who's honestly been pretty fresh, he got a lot of carries this past game. So 5 carries, 7 yards. I know it does. No, actually, it wasn't even him. That's Kimani Vidal. Hassan Haskins, let me go and search him up because he got too many carries to my liking. So again, actually, he didn't. What the heck? I think I just saw Hassan Haskins a lot in there for some odd reason, but it says that he's only had 1 rushing attempt this past game and 3 rushing yards, but he played 45% of snaps. There you go. He was in for too many snaps. And again, a lot of those were passing snaps, so he was blocking, but he was running routes and everything like that. And I was like, who is this guy? Why is Vidal not in? So again, I really don't know on that one. But he says Vidal was hurt for some time, I think, too. He has more of the upside. I would say that Kimani Vidal and Gus Edwards should share this backfield. Since you shed that light on me about Vidal being injured, he should be coming back pretty healthy. He didn't get any snaps this game, so I assume going into this next game, they really want to get the young guys instilled in that offense just in case these older guys like J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards are not going to be signed next year. So yeah, Kimani Vidal is very intriguing to me, especially in those deeper leagues like you have Mr. Magic. So I like it. Guy out of Troy. Troy is my favorite movie, by the way. So that college has a special place in my heart just because of that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind you getting Vidal, but I also wouldn't mind you getting Gus Edwards because I still think they're going to split that backfield. As long as Gus Edwards is healthy, that's the good thing. Let's see, 11:30, 3:30, 7:30, Thursday. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get my video out at 8 in the morning. So that way you guys can watch it whenever you wake up, whenever you're getting ready, different time changes, everything like that. So make sure to tune in. Let me know what you think in the comments section like that. Leave a like and anything that you feel like sharing on there. And of course, you're always open to roast me if you don't like where your team is at, and I will gladly let you know why they're there. But Rave says, what's up, Rave? How's it going, man? He says, Tracy, Rashad White, or Pacheco. So I really do like Tracy this week because he's going up against the Cowgirls. The only thing that I really don't like is that the Cowboys play pretty well on Thanksgiving, but they're going to be without Dak Prescott. So how well are they actually going to do? I think this gives a lot of opportunity to the Giants because the Cowboys are really not going to stay on the field too much. The defensive line for the New York Giants is probably going to get to whoever is starting. Pretty sure it's going to be Cooper Rush. But in my opinion, I think Tracy's going to do well. This past game, he really didn't because of game script, everything like that. But I don't foresee the Cowboys actually having a game like they did last week. It was kind of a outlier, but I could totally be wrong. So Rashad White has also been doing very good. I don't know how he did this past game, but yeah, double digits. He's had double-digit points in the past 5 games. So the stretch of 29, 15, 12, 19, and 11. I really like him also against Carolina, but it's going to be tough because Pacheco's coming back. I really don't like playing guys who are just straight fresh. Sometimes it bites me in the butt, but sometimes it really doesn't, and I'm usually right about that. So majority of the time, I don't like starting guys that are fresh off an injury because there's always an instance where they could get re-injured or they're just on the snap count. So for that reason, I'm out on Pacheco. I feel like Shark Tank right now. He's like, for that reason, I'm out. But yeah, Pacheco, leave him on the bench until he puts up a good game for you. If you want to trust him in week 14, I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, I'm really not going to play Pacheco until I know that he's getting majority of the snaps there, just because their running back room has been actually pretty good with Kareem Hunt. So don't actually know how that's going to go. I'm going to go Rashad White, and then I'm going to go Tracy here. So if you hear anything about Rashad White not being healthy or something midway through the what's it called? Basically by tomorrow, because you want to put in Tracy on Thursday. But if you hear anything about Rashad White from now until kickoff for the Cowboys, go ahead and play Tracy. I think he's a good start, but for sure Rashad White is my guy. Let's see. It says, do you think the Niners can still make a push for the playoffs? I don't know how CMC will do for me in the playoffs too. So, as an unbiased Seahawks fan here, a divisional rival, if you want to call it that, since we actually did beat the 49ers this year. Haven't been doing that in a while, but I think the 49ers are all right. You know, everybody in that division is one game away. Literally, you're either 6-5 or you're 5-6. So there's a lot of room for, or not a lot of room for error for any of those four teams: Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, 49ers. So I think it's still in contention for every single team there to make the playoffs. It's most likely going to be whoever wins the division goes to the playoffs, and the other teams, sorry, but I don't foresee two teams from the NFC West making the NFC playoff bracket. So I think they can get it together. There's still a lot of football. I believe it's 6 games, week 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 to get into the playoffs. So there's so much time for everybody to make the playoffs. And I think it'll be all right. CMC, I know he has a tough spread of matchups going into the playoffs. He has the LA Rams. Miami is probably his easiest one. But if your championship round is in week 17, he's going against a tough defense in Detroit. Now, sometimes Detroit gives up a lot of yards. Sometimes they don't. I think in this instance, in week 17, there's a high likelihood that Detroit's kind of taking it easy. But the way MCDC plays over there as the coach for the Detroit Lions, they're all gas, no brakes. And they mean it this year. They want to go for basically almost the perfect season, sitting right now at 10-1. I don't think they want to lose to anybody, especially the San Francisco 49ers, especially what happened in the playoffs last year. They want some revenge. They want to make sure the San Francisco doesn't make it to the playoffs because that makes their road much easier, in my opinion. So 49ers have a chance. I wouldn't count them out yet. Hopefully they don't make it. That would be great for me, but we don't get to play them again anymore, so it's not in our hands. It's basically all in the hands of the San Francisco 49ers, how they play. And of course, if we outpace them, then we just did better. That's just how it is. But I think the 49ers have a 50% chance of making the playoffs. I don't know what their actual chances are based on odds and all that stuff. But I think there's a 50-50 chance that they make it or don't. Same thing for the Seahawks, since we have a one-game cushion over them. But Tyler Sperry says, would you play both Pacheco and Hunt, same team? No. It's either going to be Hunt or none of them. So again, Pacheco might get 50% of the snaps, but again, how great is he going to be? He hasn't seen a lot of game time action since week 2 when he got injured, I believe. So really, I don't trust him as a runner. Sometimes it takes runners after injury to get back into it, and they don't see the holes as good as they did before they got injured because of mental stuff. Right back here, you carry a lot of memories from when you were playing before you got injured. So I wouldn't trust Pacheco yet. Put in Hunt. I still think he's going to get a lot of usage. I think he will outpace Pacheco 60-40 as of snap share, and I think Hunt is going to be utilized a lot inside the red zone. So that's just me. I wouldn't trust Pacheco just yet. Maybe next week for sure. Mr. Magic also, when do teams practice during the week? Monday through Friday? Usually, if their game is on Sunday, they'll go kind of like a light practice on Monday if they played on Sunday. Mostly it's going to be guys on the injury report because they're either resting, getting some treatment, and it's a light practice on Monday. Tuesday, full pads, most likely. If not full pads, then they're going a full workout, everything like that, going out there, running plays, scenarios. Wednesday, same thing, scenarios, full pads, everything like that. That's when you usually see guys who are getting rest and treatment come off of the injury report. Sometimes it's on Thursday. Thursday's the last time that they kind of get to do that because Friday is kind of just like a walkthrough, rest, and then later in the day, they usually travel to their game if they play on Sunday. If they play on Thursday after playing on a Sunday game or a Monday night game, usually it's Monday practice. It's going to be a light practice, recovery, same thing Tuesday, light practice and recovery, and then Wednesday, right before the game, basically, it's travel time. So they'll probably do the walkthrough after they fly over to the facility wherever they're going to play, or if it's a home game, they'll have the walkthrough there. But really, it just depends on when they play, and that's usually their practice schedule. So same thing for Sunday games on Saturdays, their walkthrough at the facility where they're playing, or if it's a home game, it's another walkthrough over there at home. Let's see. Rave says Debo, Ridley, Myers, and Wilson pick 3. This is a tough one. Okay, because Wilson, I want to believe in him, but it's the Jets. And I don't plan on going for the Jets at all. They're going to play the Seahawks. No. Yeah, the Seahawks. So right now, we've been playing pretty good on the defensive side. So I want to be as biased as possible here, and I'm going to say don't play Garrett Wilson. We saw what he played against Arizona like. We saw what he played against Indianapolis like. It wasn't pretty. It's not what you want from a guy who is supposed to be the number 6 wide receiver. So especially going into playoffs, I don't think this is a game that you play him. But personally, that's just me. So if anything, I'm picking the other 3. I'm going Debo, Ridley, Myers. If you don't want to play Debo, Ridley, and Myers, I'm probably thinking Debo, because Debo had a good game, but with this issue because of Brock Purdy, he's not playing up to par. And I say Debo played a good game because he played a good game as a blocking wide receiver. He tried his best to do everything he could, but 3.1 points this game against Seattle, 6.1 points. They're going up against Buffalo, whose defense has been getting better and better. So if you don't want to believe in Debo, I totally agree with that. It's fine. You can go Ridley, Myers, and Wilson. But definitely Ridley and Myers. I like their matchups a little bit better than Debo and Wilson. And because of quarterback situations with Debo and Wilson, with Aaron Rodgers and Brock Purdy, it's just not reliable. So flip a coin, pick the better of both evils. It's going to be tough for those two teams to get something going without good quarterback play. Mr. Magic says, can JT pick it up soon, please? I know, dude. I don't have him, but I know Reed does, who's also a co-host on this channel. Yeah, he didn't have a good game this past week. I know last week, too, he didn't have a good game. So hopefully he can. But Rave says, teams don't practice till Wednesday, and now if they play on a Sunday game. Yeah, like I said, it's most likely a lot of rest and treatment. I know they do try to get out there and run some drills and stuff like that every now and then, but Rave could be totally right. At this point in the season, they just want to rest. So a lot of treatment, a lot of therapy sessions there to get the body right, recover, and then they go full out again to get ready for the next game. So most likely it might be a lot of prep inside the facilities, and again, treatment and rest. Yeah, Rave says Monday, Tuesday film. He says, and teams aren't even using pads. It's getting late into the year. Pretty much, yeah. He's like, it's essentially walkthroughs. Brandon says, what's good? What's up, Brandon? How you doing? Mr. Magic says, I may have to start Warren for Dobbins. That's not a bad idea. Warren has been doing pretty good as of late. I don't know how he did this past game because it was on Thursday, so it feels like a millennium has gone by since we've seen him play. But 15 points, I think he's great. The past 3-4 weeks, he's been putting up some good, decent numbers for a backup who gets about less than half the snaps majority of the time. So I like it. But Liam says, yo, Vince, how's it going? Pretty good, man. I'm glad you get to join here. I saw you in the Discord asking for AJ to put it in layman terms for you. Dumb it down a bit. Like, when does this start again? So glad you got here. We kind of missed you, my guy. But for reference here, me and Reed, we picked the Chargers to win last night. So we believed in them. Didn't happen the way we wanted to, but it is what it is. So welcome back, man. Always good to have you here. Brandon says, should I drop Breece Hall? No, dude. What are you doing? You got to keep Breece Hall because you don't want to drop him. And then in the playoffs, if you make the playoffs, somebody picks him up, you face that person, Breece Hall goes off. I'd rather you have Breece Hall on the bench so that nobody else has him because you're trying to keep away good players from other people. That's what I usually do on my bench. I have my solidified starters, and then I look at guys that I feel like I'm going to play in the playoffs, and I look at what they need, and I steal those guys away from them. So it's a mind game. It's a cat and mouse type game too. So keep Brees Hall. I don't even care if he's just riding your bench for the rest of the season, even in the playoffs, even in the championship. If he's not playing well and you don't trust him, don't play him, but don't drop him. Ren says there's nobody better on the waiver wire. Yeah, that you just got to keep him, my guy. Is A-Rod even playing? Yeah, supposedly Aaron Rodgers said that he debunked whatever Sleeper said or whoever posted that on Twitter saying that he could possibly get benched. He's saying that that's not going to happen. I'm Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 whatever. So if he plays, cool. If he doesn't, I really don't care. I think the Jets are just doomed. Aaron Rodgers says, y'all go like the video. There you go. There's the stitch there for you. This is on this channel, NSP, nothing better. Rave says, Pitts or Hunter Henry. Dude, again, I actually have Pitts now because I traded for him because I needed him when I had everybody pretty much on a bye week or injured. Kadon was on a bye week. And I think the other tight end that I had was also on a bye week that week. I just really don't like it, you know? The past 3 weeks have just been horrendous. He's coming off of a bye, going against the Chargers. I would want him to start, but I just don't believe in him. So I think with that, I'm going to have to go with Hunter Henry. It's just a better matchup, in my opinion. They've been utilizing him a lot. I mean, the past 2 games, 9 targets, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 5 receptions. That right there is already scoring more than what Kyle Pitts has been scoring. So I'm going to go Hunter Henry. I know Indy's pretty scary, but I still believe in Drake May to get the ball out to Hunter Henry because it's going to be a lot of quick routes. And we know how Hunter Henry plays. So he's a number 9 tight end compared to the number 11 with Kyle Pitts. But Kyle Pitts was like basically the number 11 tight end in the middle of the season. Now getting into the end of it, he's playing like total doo-doo. So again, it's just my love-hate relationship with Pitts. When he's playing good, I give him his credit, but most of the time it's not too much. Let's see. Liam says, I'm in 4th at 6-6, along with the 5th and 6th and 7th teams, and top 6 make playoffs. Yeah, that's a lot of situations for a lot of people right now. I was on the verge of going 6-6, but I went 7-5, so I have a game cushion compared to other people who are 6-6 or 5-7. So I pretty much got it locked down to where at least I get the 6th spot. But I'm not holding my breath yet. So anything can change. He says, you think I'm making it with this team? And he lists his team here. He says, quarterbacks are Baker, Herbert, Love. Wide receivers are Jefferson, Evans, London, Judy. I really like it already. Running backs are Henry, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, Tyrone, and Brooks. And Bowers is the tight end. Awesome. So I do like Bowers. He's getting a lot of targets. I just wish that he could catch more receptions. But with the quarterback situation there, what's his name? Just injured his shoulder, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Mr. Mustache guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me. So I'm going to search it up. But, yeah, Gardner Minshew. Minshew Magic just got hurt. Aiden O'Connell is most likely going to be a starter there. He's got some familiarity with Brock Bowers, but again, they just played a tough defense in Denver, and they're going to go against another tough defense in Kansas City. That's probably the only thing about your team that I don't like is you don't have another tight end for these tougher matchups, but Brock Bowers thrives whenever they need him, so hopefully they can just make a little bit more connection this week, and I think Brock Bowers should be getting double-digit points again. But yeah, your team looks good, man. It's the only thing, in my opinion, is that you have a lot of great players on your team. So it's going to be hard to figure out who you need to play every single week. That's the only thing that I hate. That's why going into the trade, last trade week, I tried to trade away guys that I don't think are going to do good at the end of the season and get some guys that I do believe in. So that way I don't have to pick through so many people here. Because honestly, you always probably want to start Jefferson, but he didn't have the best game this past week. And then you probably always want to start Evans. London is a close third there if you want to put him in the flex, but always want to start Henry. And you probably always kind of want to start Kenneth Walker. I like him over Aaron Jones and Tyrone Tracy at this point in time for the rest of the season at least. So this is a good team. I really like it. I think you'll be fine. Brandon says, I thought they would come back. I didn't like how they took the flag back on that long pass interference. Yeah, me too. I thought that it could have been a pass interference, but again, there was just a lot of hand fighting. They were trying to keep it consistent. So I don't mind the no call either, but I did think that was pass interference. Let's see. Shakezilla says, Sup, Vinny? How do you know they call me Vinny? Huh? Who told you? He says, what do you think Brees will can do against your Seahawks? Well, definitely we haven't fully solidified the run stop defense that we have. Of course, Byron Murphy being there right smack dab in the middle, and then the big boys that we got. Thank the Lord we got them. They've been doing good, and we also are supposed to be getting back Uchenna Nwosu, if not this week, next week. So he might be an impact against this run game. So I think Brees Hall is going to mostly be bottled up, honestly. He will get his points, don't get me wrong. I think he's going to get close to 10. If he gets a touchdown, I would say probably around like 12, 13. But I just don't think he's like where you drafted him at. You know, you're expecting him to get 20 points, 15 points at minimum, but he just has been crapping the bed. So against the Seahawks, I really don't know what we're ranked against the run as of this time, but our defense has just been playing great. And he put up 31 points against Indianapolis, who does have a pretty good run defense, but I don't think he's going to do that against the Seahawks. He's pretty much projected to get the same amount of points there, 17, that he was against Indy and Arizona. But I think us going over there to the New York Jets Stadium, I don't think he's going to do that. So again, that's just me probably being biased, but if you believe in him, start him, man. I really don't mind, but I do think we're going to win that game for sure. Brandon says, Spurs about to play, and I'm about to do a sleeper bet on the game. Do it, man. He says, is Victor Wembanyama good? Should I do over or under for 27 points against the Jazz? So he usually likes playing up against the Jazz. I don't remember if Rudy Gobert is still there. I would do it. I don't mind it at all. He's usually playing good, but that's around the point where he usually scores. So it's usually like 25 points, sometimes up to 30. So they got it right smack dab in the middle. So it just depends on how great of a game he has, but he has been playing good so far. So I like it. I don't mind it whatsoever. Shakezilla says, how do you think Miami will fare in the cold weather versus Green Bay? I think they're going to lose. Miami's a good up-and-coming team. A-Chan is playing well. Jonnu Smith, I mean, a whole nother level with the tight end there for the old gentleman. But Green Bay is a different beast. I think Green Bay wins this one for sure, especially in Lambeau. I like it. But yeah, so that's what I think. Miami just doesn't play well in the cold. Green Bay just doesn't play well in the heat. And that's why we saw Jacksonville almost pretty much beat them when they played in Jacksonville earlier this year. It's just how it is, you know. Home field advantage is a big, big difference. And I don't think Miami will be ready for that cold. Victor is the best player, Brandon, for sure. He says, if I win next game, I'll secure the second place bye week in playoffs. I think I know which league you're talking about. Is it the league that I'm into? I think it might be. But awesome. He says, should I play Purdy over Bo Nix? No, I think Bo Nix is going to be the guy to start this week. Purdy might not even play. I haven't really gotten any updates on him, so we'll see what happens. Liam, are you worried about Jefferson after his last 3 weeks, 14, 10, and 3? I mean, he's a guy that you just have to start. You know, you probably drafted him in the first round. It might have been late first round, which is pretty good, considering that he probably fell in your league. If you didn't, and probably got him somewhere around 3 or 4. But Jay Jettas, you have to play him. You know, you drafted him so high. Unless you have guys that you believe in that are getting like 15, 20 points a game, then you can possibly put him in the flex or on the bench. I mean, do whatever is best for your team. But let me go ahead and pick it up over here. I think you would be fine playing Evans in London and Jefferson probably in the flex, or if you want to put him on the bench to play one of your running backs, I'm totally fine with that too. But honestly, Jefferson, who are they going against? They're playing Arizona. I think he can get a lot of yards against Arizona. Sometimes Arizona's defense plays well, but I believe more in Justin Jefferson than I do the Arizona Cardinals defense. So, just my opinion there. It says my league's deadline is after this week for some reason. LOL. Any recommendations for trades? Oh, awesome! That's perfect. If anything, here we are. Missed it. I would trade away a quarterback. Give a quarterback to somebody who needs it, who's probably not going to be a factor in the playoffs, if anything. Somebody who's trying to make that playoff push, but you really don't believe that they're going to make it. Give them a good quarterback. It's fine. If anything, I would want you to trade away a running back. Try to package like a quarterback and a running back in Tyron Tracy. Get another either stud running back or, if anything, get another tight end that you believe in. Try to go after somebody who has McBride. Try to go after somebody who has like Jonnu Smith. Try to go after somebody who has like maybe even a Will Dissly just to back up Bowers. Those guys are going off pretty frequently these past few weeks. So I believe in those guys going the rest of the season. There's probably another couple of tight ends out there. If you want to go Kittle makes a huge difference on that 49ers team. But again, right now, until I know that Brock Purdy is back and healthy, it's a little tough. Let's see. I'm going to kind of go quickly through here as I'm falling behind on these comments. I'm taking a little bit too long reading them. He says, I thought they would come back. I didn't like the way that. Yeah, I think he said that. Oh, I actually came up all the way back up here. Never mind. So I'm pretty caught up. Let's see. It says, I'm taking your word, Trey. Jordan Addison over Odunze this week. I think you have to. The way that Jordan Addison is playing, when Jay Jettis doesn't have a good game, Jordan Addison does. And even then, he's usually having some pretty good games. So I like what he did this past week. Tampa Bay defense over the Bills. Tampa Bay is facing the Panthers. Panthers have been on a roll here. But the Bills, I wouldn't mind you playing the Bills here. I think this week they should be getting some good points against San Francisco just because Brock Purdy is most likely not going to play. But I wouldn't mind you getting Tampa Bay against the Panthers. The only thing there is that Tampa Bay has been giving up a good amount of points, and the Panthers have been scoring a good amount of points. So they might keep this one close, like they get against Kansas City. So if anything, I'm leaning Bills. Liam says, different league. What do you think of this team? 9-4 in second. Goff. Wide receivers are Ladd, Jaden, Reed, T, Addison, Judy. Running backs are Henry, Connor, Madison, McBride, and Kraft. I know Madison sucks. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Well, Madison had a good stretch there, so it's probably helped you win a few games if you had him in the flex or something. I love McBride. McBride is just having a great season. He's probably one of the best tight ends we've seen coming out on his second year, basically. But with the injury on the first year, I still kind of meshed this one into his first season. But he's having a breakout season this year, so I like it. Kraft has also had a few games out there that he's been phenomenal. I like this team, of course, better than the other one. The only thing that I think you should probably do if you can still trade here is probably trade one of your tight ends. I would keep McBride, trade away Kraft to somebody who believes in him. And I would like you to get a better wide receiver there. I like Ladd. I like T. I like Addison. But I think you need somebody a little bit better than Jaden Reed at this point in time. Reed has been doing good frequently, but lately haven't really liked his production the past 2 weeks. He could get going since what's his name? I believe Christian Watson, I think, is dealing with some injuries or something like that, or Romeo Dobbs, one of them. I don't know. They all mesh in the same category for me with the Packers. All of them are just next man up type of deals. So I would like you to get somebody better than Jaden Reed. So try to package Jaden Reed and probably Kraft or somebody, I don't know, and just get a better wide receiver. Go after guys like Devontae Smith. Let's see, JSN, if somebody's willing to give you JSN. You could go after somebody like DK Metcalf. Just look for a team who's probably not going to make the playoffs and they're trying to shake it up, or somebody who's trying to make the playoffs and they have a lot of good guys on the bench or something and making a late season push. Just look for somebody. I think you could do a lot better in the wide receiver room, but definitely 9-4 is awesome. I don't even know how you're 9-4. This is only week 12, so you should be like 9-3 or something. But Brandon says, "Nah, it's a big money league. Awesome." He's like, "But I think you are making the playoffs. I don't think we faced each other. We'll see. I just took an L this week, so I think I might drop to 5. But I've been up and down from like 5 to 4 to 3, and then back to 5. Blah 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 blah. But I think I should make it." It says, "Will Dallas be a sleeper against the Giants this week for their defense? They very well could possibly, especially with Danny DeVito there. It's just going to be a slugfest of not two good teams at all. So I wouldn't mind you playing Dallas defense. They played well this past week. I think they could do it again, especially on Thanksgiving. They're trying to make a statement here to show that they still are a good team. But yeah, Dallas probably wouldn't be at the top of my list, but with the woes that the Giants are having, I don't mind you putting them in at all." He says, "Is Russell Wilson good to get this week?" Let's see. So who are they playing? Playing against Cincinnati. The last time they played Cincinnati was last year. I want to see how they fared against them because the defense just played much more horribly. But yeah, I think he's a good start against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense kind of sucks, so I wouldn't mind you playing him there too. But who you're trying to, what's it called? Who you trying to replace with Russell Wilson? Who's your starter right now? It says, "Now would you start Vele over Flowers?" That's a tough one. I mean, Flowers, he started off super slow, but he came back, had a decent game. There against the Chargers, 11 points. I think you kind of still have to run with him. They're going against Philly this week, so it's going to be a very, very highly ranked matchup. They're going to need Zay Flowers if they want to win. I don't think Derrick Henry, even though it's going to be great, Derrick Henry versus Saquon, the top two running backs in the league at this point in time, I think they're going to run it a lot, but that opens up lanes for Zay Flowers, opens up lanes for A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, pretty much everybody, even Mark Andrews. I think he'll get his points, but Vele is the guy who is the safety net. If you don't believe in Flowers, like kind of I don't. I think I'm going to be benching him this week. I like Vele against Cleveland. I think Bo Nix is playing well. I don't think Cleveland's defense is all that in a bag of chips. Kind of like how Zay Flowers is going against a very good Philadelphia defense, even though they're a little banged up after this past week. I think they should be healthy, though. Vele is the safe option. Flowers is the guy who can get you up to 30 points if he goes off. So do with that what you will. Make your decision. I think I'm going to go Vele just to be safe. I like safety more than anything because Zay Flowers has also put up stinkers where he gets 2 points, 4 points, 5 points, 7 points. You don't want that going into the playoffs. CD Smitty, what's up? What's up? How's it going? I don't know if this is your first time on here. If it is, go ahead and hit the sub button. Sorry, I'm a little late to your comment. I think I've been like 3 minutes late, but I like to read comments in depth and everything like that, and definitely just have fun on this podcast. So hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you're feeling generous. It says, "Should I use my waiver priority on Jaylen Warren, Keenan Allen, or Jordan Addison? Also, is it time to drop Jonathan Brooks or Cedric Tillman?" I would say drop both Jonathan Brooks and Cedric Tillman. I would say pick up Jaylen Warren. He's more consistent, getting a lot more touches, in my opinion, in the comparison to Brooks. I dropped Brooks a long time ago. So I really haven't been keeping up with him. But yeah, total dog water. Drop him. He's not going to be anything, especially not when Chuba Hubbard got paid. Cedric Tillman, he's been a little bit up and down. He's had some great games, but he hasn't really been doing all that well. So again, this past week, only 2.8, going up against a tough Denver defense and then a Pittsburgh defense and then a tough Kansas City defense. So I think it's time to quit on Cedric Tillman. I would say pick up Jordan Addison. I would say pick up Jaylen Warren. I like Keenan Allen, but not more than I do Jordan Addison because Jordan Addison has the opportunity to go for 20 plus more often than Keenan Allen by a lot. So get Jordan Addison if you can, then get Jaylen Warren I would say drop Jonathan Brooks first. So do Jordan Addison to drop Jonathan Brooks. And then after that, you can put Jalen Warren. Hopefully you get both of those guys. They're pretty good. He says, offer Garrett Wilson or Higgins for London. I would offer, man, that's a good question, Perico. I think I'm okay with you doing Garrett Wilson for London. I really like Higgins. He's a phenomenal wide receiver at this point in time. He's basically playing for a contract season. He wants to go somewhere, and make a lot of money. I just don't know if I'm really comfortable dropping or trading Garrett Wilson for Drake London at this point in time. He's a great wide receiver, but he just has not been putting up numbers that I want him to put. But I think it's a good risk. They go against the Chargers, Minnesota Vikings, Las Vegas Raiders, Giants, and Washington. So he's great. And I mean great for playoffs. I think going against Las Vegas, New York Giants, Washington, if you play in week 18, he's going against Carolina. I think he's going to do great. So I don't mind you getting rid of Garrett Wilson, but I would keep Higgins if I were you. Higgins just has been going off very consistently. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty good swap there. I could see Garrett Wilson going off the rest of the season sometimes, but not as consistently as T. Higgins at this point. It says, also, how do you feel about Bucks D against Carolina since they've been playing a lot better lately? Yeah, I was saying this earlier. I don't mind you playing the Bucks defense, but I just want to kind of let you know that they're probably not going to score 15 points or anything like that. If anything, they're going to score like 6 to 10 points at the high. I could see them putting a little bit of hurt on Carolina because of that defensive line. And Bryce Young, he's still young. He's playing a lot better, but that defensive line is good. They're going to get to him for sure. They could possibly cause some turnovers. I don't know. Have to wait and see. But yeah, I do like the Bucks defense rest of the season. I think they can definitely get some things going. But Brandon says Dallas got 30 points last week. Yeah, they did. I know that for sure. But again, Dallas is Dallas. They just could play good on Thanksgiving. I know that for sure. Brazil, has your feelings about the Cardinals defense changed? I remember you wasn't a fan of them. I'm still not a fan of them. They allowed us to put basically 9 points on the board. I know 7 points kind of happened from the run back interception by Kobe Bryant. So they're good. I'm not going to bash on them. I'm not going to say they're the worst because they have been playing fairly good. They're not stat sheet stuffers, of course, but the past 3 weeks, 24 points, 19 points, and then 19 points again. They do have just some tough matchups coming up, but I do think they're worth the pickup. If the Cardinals are out there, the number 12 ranked defense, but lately they've been like a top 5 defense. So, yeah, I'll give them some credit, but I'm still not a believer that they're one of the best defenses out there. But they're getting their behinds together basically. It says, would you rather start Wilson or Higgins if you don't get London? Obviously Higgins. They are going against Pittsburgh Steelers, so it's going to be a tougher matchup for him. But I think it'll be more of a tougher matchup for Jamar Chase than it will for Higgins. So Higgins is going to benefit off of that. So expect him to get his receptions, expect him to get his yards, expect him to possibly even get a touchdown because he is heavily used in the red zone as well. Liam Backus says, with the first team I sent, if I were to trade Love, it would be this one guy's team. His best guys are JSN, Gibbs, Mixon, Laporta, T, and Chase. Holy shoot. That is a plethora of guys. He's asking me, who would I propose? So if you're going to go just Love straight up, I don't think he's going to give you any of those guys, to be honest. Unless his quarterback is just total dog water, I don't see him going a straight up thing. So if you want to pair Love and whoever I said last time, I don't remember who I said. I think it was a wide receiver. Honestly, I don't even mind you going Love and London to try to get JSN or Mixon or T. Higgins or even Jamar Chase. I mean, I don't mind it. Again, it's just depending on what this guy's willing to give up. I don't think he'll give up Chase. I don't think he'll probably give up Mixon. Definitely don't think he'll give up Laporta if that's his only tight end. Excuse me. I think JSN and T. Higgins are the guys that I would go after. And I would be totally fine with you giving away Jordan Love and, giving away a wide receiver, whether that's Jared Judy, whether that's Drake London. I like it. I mean, to get a guy like JSN at this point in time, to get a guy like T. Higgins, who are averaging about 20 points a game whenever they step foot on the field, it's just so intriguing to me. So he says, what were your pros? That's my proposal. Brandon says, did you see that one dude from the Chargers drop all his passes when they needed it the most? Yeah, Quentin Johnson. He returned as the worst wide receiver in the league. I think he had like 4 drops this game, so horrible. Brandon says, get repped. Says, any defenses you like this week? Alrighty, let me go to defenses real quick. The ones that are available for me, miraculously. That's not week 13. Let me change it to week 13. Still stuck in the past, boys. But definitely, I do like the Cowboys. I do like the Bills if they're available for you. They're just going against teams who are most likely going to have quarterback troubles because they're not playing the starters. Because one of them let go of their starter, and one of them, their starter, is up in the air on whatever's going to happen. If anything, any other defense that I like the Seahawks defense against the New York Jets, and I also like the Arizona Cardinals against Minnesota. Minnesota hasn't been playing the best, so I'm giving my credit here to Arizona, who has been playing well, and I think they could possibly end up beating the Minnesota Vikings if everything goes right. But they definitely will limit the Minnesota Vikings to a certain amount of points. They get to the quarterback, they get tackles for loss. They do get some turnovers here and there, so it's worth it. Those are 4 teams that I really like. If for some reason Denver's on there, I really like them against the Cleveland Browns as well. So yeah, those are going to be my teams that I think you should pick up on the defensive side if they're available. Let me know if any of them are there. Brandon says, I'm really debating on picking up Dallas defense and play them over Tampa Bay, their most projected defense this week. Yeah, like I said, they play on Thursday. They're very good on Thanksgiving, so wouldn't mind that. You're saying that he has Stroud. Yeah, he definitely wants Jordan Love or somebody like that. Even if he wants one of your other quarterbacks, whatever you're safe in trading away for your quarterbacks and running with the other guy, just try to get somebody. Try your hardest to just go down the line on the ranks of his players. I would go probably Chase, then I'd probably go Mixon, then I would go T. Higgins, and I would go JSN. Just try it like that, but try not to annoy him, talk with him before saying, hey, what are you willing to give up? Stuff like that. Just try to swindle him, but do it nicely, try to get what you want, but also try not to give him everything that he wants. If you can work out a deal, it'd be awesome, especially on the last week of trades. Brandon says, disrespecting Stroud. He's just not playing well, man. It's just what it is. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a great guy, but he just needs to get his head back on his shoulders. I don't disagree. It was a bad game, but it was Quentin Johnson's first bad game all year, and people calling for him to be cut. He has progressed so much from last year, and last night he just had a bad outing. Yeah, again, sometimes it's nerves, man. It was a big game against a big opponent, so all the lights are on you. So yeah, maybe he's just nervous. Maybe he just needs to get back to doing his techniques, his game routines, everything like that. Maybe just something was off for him that day. Maybe he had something on his mind. Again, I'm not going to fault Quentin Johnson, but yeah, he just got back to what he was doing last year, and I hope it doesn't progress because I really want a lot of these young guys to show up and show out. They got drafted at the positions that they got drafted at for a reason, and I definitely think that they can make a difference in this league. So wishing the best for Quentin. Does a deal of Kelsey, Chase Brown, and Marvin Harrison Jr. from a team out of the playoffs to a first-place team, giving up Pitts, Mooney, and Madison, all bench players for them, seem legit? Nope. Not at all. If you're getting Kelsey and Chase Brown and Marvin Harrison Jr., you better be getting back some dogs. Pitts, playing horrible. Mooney, he has some good games here and there, but not the best as of lately. Madison, total dog water. Again, this is probably somebody in first place just trying to get guys to secure the dub. I hate that when that happens. That's why in our leagues we have like a commissioner who can overrule things like that. That's why we have voting on. And then if something just seems fishy, we have a committee also as well that is kind of comprising of us and some outside people who aren't even in the league, and we allow them to vote on it. So again, we do a lot to make sure that none of this stuff happens. So hopefully you can kind of put a comment in there and say, hey, this doesn't seem fair. This seems like this guy is, what's the word? Manipulating this other guy who's not going to make playoffs and who doesn't really care about the league anymore. Liam says, heck no, Pareko. Trading with teams out of the playoffs at this point is unethical, especially when it's that. Yeah, you'd have to be giving back something that's trying to help them make the playoffs. But if they're just so far out, you really shouldn't be trading with them at all, especially if you're in first place. That's just the kind of worms you don't want, especially from the guys who are trying to make playoffs. Should I drop the Jets defense? I would. I don't really like them a lot. I don't like the Jets at all in anything. Liam says, I offered Love and London for Chase. We'll see. Yeah, again, just try to highball them. Sell your guys like they're the best players in the league, and you want the best back. Let's see, but this is football. You can't let the nerves get to you. Like, how are you going to wear gloves and drop the ball? Be wide open. Yeah, there's no excuse. I mean, he's getting paid millions of dollars. He should be catching the ball. Then comments are blowing up for sure. I love it. I love it. It says, how are y'all still able to do trades? It just depends on the league. You can set up your league to have trades all the way up until like the championship round if you wanted to. Again, I don't know if that's a true statement, but I know you can do it till the end of the regular season. So you just have to do it in the settings. Let's see. He says, if you made that trade, that guy already won. I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know if he's talking about Liam's trade or if he's talking about Pareko's trade with that guy. It says, tell him to give you some of the earnings if you make that trade. For sure. Says, should I drop Odunze for the Cowboys defense? I don't mind dropping Odunze. Again, I don't really think he's a big guy who you need to really worry about. That, if somebody else picks him up, he's going to be doing great, everything like that. Again, there's just too many mouths to feed over there. He has been playing a lot better than he was in the beginning of the season. So good for him, right? But he has tough matchups. Detroit, San Francisco defense, Minnesota defense, Detroit again, and then Seattle. If your championship round is in week 18, Green Bay. It's just some tough defenses. I think Odunze will do fine, but I don't think he's somebody you should keep on your roster because he's most likely never going to hit the start. The guy trading away Kelsey is the same guy from last week complaining about my Saquon trade, if you remember that at all. I think I do. He says, and nope, it's actually between a dad and daughter in the league, too, of course. Jeez. Yeah, he probably has his daughter in the league, so that way he can just, pick up anybody who's been doing well on her team. That's just not the way to play. I hate that. Again, that's why we really want guys to just be serious here in our leagues, So that is what it is, but hopefully it doesn't go through, because if it does, that's a super correct trade. It says, or drop Jets defense for the Cowboys. Yeah, I like that one better. Drop the Jets defense for the Cowboys, defense for defense. I think that's good. Let's see. Cap for life. Hopefully you're still here, man. Sorry, it took a little while to get you your comment. Hopefully it wasn't too long. It says, hey, bro, thoughts on Vidal? So, yeah, I definitely think him and Edwards are going to split carries. I don't know why he didn't play this week. Maybe he just wasn't healthy. Maybe they didn't have him in the game script. But that other running back, what's his name again? Starts with an H. He ended up playing a lot of snaps. 45% of the snaps. Hassan Haskins, another young guy. But I was just like, who is this guy? Where's Vidal? Where's Edwards? We were going live for that game on Monday Night Football, and I was like, where is he? So, yeah, I think Vidal will definitely get into the lineup there. I'm hoping it's Gus Edwards and Kamani Vidal. But again, I don't know what's going on in practice. maybe Harbaugh just like him as a running back at this point in time, and maybe he wants him to develop. So I think Vidal should be playing, especially since he's young and they really want to, get the young guys in there. Brandon says, I just want to use the Cowboys as a 1 week deal. Yeah, just do it. Drop the Jets, get the Cowboys. I think that's fine. One more rate the team for you. Quarterbacks, Mahomes, Love, wide receivers, CD, Collins, T, London, Saquon, Jacobs, Kyron, and James Cook for running backs. Bowers and Otten. Guess my record. I feel like this one's a trap. Because Love was doing good in the beginning, then he got hurt. Then you had Mahomes, who was like averaging like 14 points a game. CD Lamb had like 1 or 2 good games. Collins out for a long time. T. Higgins out for pretty much the beginning of the season, came back, had great games. Drake London was good around the same time T. Higgins was. Saquon, amazing, doing a lot better. Jacobs was doing good at the beginning of the season, but doing a lot better now. Kyron Williams was killing it at the beginning of the season, not doing good now. James Cook, up and down. Bowers has been doing good and being consistent the entire season. I'm assuming you got Otten maybe like 5 or 6 weeks ago. This is just off the top of my head. I really don't know what happened to this team, but let me know if I'm pretty accurate. I'm going to say you're sitting between the ranges of, let's see, it's week 12. I'm going to say 5-7 to 7-5. I think that's my range there. If I had to pick, I'm going to pick right in the middle. I'm going to go 6-6, and you're fighting for a playoff spot. But I could also honestly see you being like 4-8 because again, these guys were just there. It's a great squad. If you had this squad last year, you'd probably be winning your league with CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Saquon, maybe not so much. Josh Jacobs, maybe. Kyron Williams, yeah. Oh my God! So it's a trap. Yeah, you just had guys that were playing well at the same time that you needed them. He says no trap, 12-0, most points by 250. Jeez. Yeah, in one league I'm at 11-1, and my team is nowhere near that. I'm actually gonna pull mine up too so I can show you. Let me see. Yeah, my team is not like that, my guy. Oh my gosh, you definitely got some good guys there. So I'm gonna pull mine up really fast. Let's share the screen window. Share this. All right, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in just a bit because sometimes I know can't really see it too well. But I got Tua. I just picked him up. I got Mixon, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Bowers, Tracy, Metcalf, Seibert, who I need to get somebody else, Joe Burrow, Kamara, Higgins, McBride, Minnesota defense that I pretty much had all season. And as you can see, I got the close win today. My team really did bad, honestly, but 11-1. So, wow. I mean, your team is astronomically good, astronomically. So, good job. But let's see. Brandon says, join our league, bro. Get out of that league. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, Hassan Haskins is looking like RB2, unfortunately. Yeah, I hate it, but Vidal, I feel like he needs to be there. I really want to see him. SJMP, what's up? What's up? Says my lineup is Purdy if he plays. Brees, K9, Scary Terry, Sutton. Oh, I love that duo. Scary Terry and Sutton right now are just playing amazing. Marvin Harrison Jr., Kittle. Love the way Kittle's playing at this point in time. I definitely knew that he was going to have a good season. Moody. Oof. I mean, I wish he had a better kicker, but it feels like to me like you're a little bit, maybe. Could be totally wrong here. You like the 49ers just a bit. And the Broncos defense. Nice. He says, my bench is C.J. Stroud, Rashad White, Madison, MVS, Johnston, Quentin Johnson, I'm assuming, Ertz, and Schultz. Like it. I like it. Yeah, I feel like this team is good, to be honest. I don't think it's too bad to have C.J. Stroud going if Brady doesn't do well. But who else is on your waivers for quarterbacks? Let me know. I probably wouldn't make any changes there, to be honest. If anything, the only change I would maybe make is probably taking out either K9 or Brees Hall and putting in Rashad White. I like what he's been doing as of lately, so could benefit him, or could benefit you to have him I wouldn't even mind you taking out K9 if you believe in Brees Hall against the Seahawks defense. Go for it. But I don't really believe too much in K9. He's probably going to be a pass catching back if anything. So I think Rachaad White will get more opportunities to get the ball in his hands, especially with all the injuries and everything like that to the Buccaneers. So do with that information what you will, but I think your starting lineup is good. Should I drop May? I have Murray or hold. Keep May. You should be fine. I like the way May is playing. I like the way Murray is playing too, even though he doesn't get a lot of points sometimes. It's just a week-to-week basis for him. But he's like, would you make any changes to my starting lineup? Nah, just the one that I said right there. My wide receiver cornerback report for this week shows Josh Palmer and Parker Washington have the best matchups. So I'm guessing it's Parker Washington. Honestly, yeah. Josh Palmer was getting so many targets. I mean, a lot of them called for like pass interference, a lot of them not called. Josh Palmer's a dog. So hopefully this week he can play pretty well. I don't know who the Chargers are playing. Haven't really checked up against the schedules here. But let's see. So they should be playing Atlanta. Yeah, I kind of like that. Atlanta's defense has not been playing good at all as of lately, so I kind of like that too. I don't mind you starting Josh Palmer if you need him in the flex. Liam says that's pretty dang good. Wide receivers are stacked. Yeah. The only one I really don't like is Marvin Harrison. Again, Marvin Harrison can play well. I don't know if this week is the week that he is going to play well. So maybe, just maybe, if he's in your flex, you would want to put Rachaad White in for him. So that's probably the only things that I would do. Brandon Rogers vlog says, not that I want the stream to end, but when does it end? Yeah, I'm going to be ending in a little bit right now. I'm going to get through these comments. So maybe in about like 5-10 minutes, maybe a little bit sooner if the comments don't keep coming in. But yeah, I got to get ready to do some stuff for tomorrow's video for the power rankings. So if you guys like power rankings videos to see where your team falls in the rankings there, go ahead and check out the video. It's going to be on Thursday. I'm going to put it at 8 a.m. So that way on Turkey Day, you guys waking up early to get ready. You can watch the video. So let me know any feedback that you guys have. Liam says, 2 weeks ago, I put up 191 in a 10-man half PPR. I had Burrow. Let me show you something, my man. Let me show you something. Oh, yeah, you're going to love this. Look at this. This was last week. Oh, man, it was amazing. Yeah, so Burrow, pretty much 30 points. Mixon, 35 points. Kamara had a bad game for me, 12.9. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown too, 38 for me in this league, the way the scoring is. Puka Nacua, 25. Brock Bowers, 31. David Montgomery, 24.5. T. Higgins, 29. I didn't even have a kicker. I was like, F it. I don't need him. And then Minnesota's defense. And then I had this on the bench. So DK Metcalf, Jawan Jennings, and everybody else was kind of on bye. So yeah, 237 points. I do have probably an extra flex in comparison to you. So yeah, we would have probably been a good matchup to see. But this is a 10-man as well. So yeah, good job, man. Yeah, I love winning in fantasy. So that's a great team. He says, should I have both Rashawn and Abdullah? I have Benson already. I would probably only want Roshan. I don't know how Abdullah's been doing, but I haven't really heard too much about him, so don't think he's doing that well. Oh, actually, he is. Good job. Hey, that's a good pickup. Those receiving touchdowns are really helping him. But yeah, that's not bad. If anything, I would probably want Abdullah as long as he's hot. But Roshan is a great guy to have in the on the bench just for like in case anything happens. And I don't want it to happen, of course, to DeAndre Swift. But if it does, Roshan Johnson's the next guy up. He's doing well with the targets and carries that he gets so far. But Benson and Abdullah, not bad. Let's see. Put the Texans number 1 or I am unsubscribing. Says JK. Yeah, I wasn't. They're not even going to be close, my guys. Sorry. Balian says, okay, that's nuts. Mine is half PPR, but still. Yeah, mine's full PPR. So, yeah, you probably would have beat me in a half PPR, especially if you don't have that double flex as well. But if you do, it probably would have been a good matchup. So, not bad, not bad. 191 is insane. Brandon says, I almost got 200. I got 195, but my best week. And that really helped me to keep a 10-point lead as the most points in the league. Awesome. He says, would you drop Pop Douglas for Vele? I would. I like that. I feel like Vele is more consistent, and he's basically the wide receiver number 2 behind Sutton. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. But all right, I'm going to fly through these comments, and then I'm going to go ahead and hop off, my boys. Thank you guys for coming in advance. Thank you for the comments. Thanks for just hanging with me. I really love doing fantasy football talk. We kind of get away from it in the guys that I want to talk about, but you guys basically bring them up with your comments, because as we've been teaching you guys, or as you guys have already known and joined the channel and just loved what we talked about because you guys have the same thoughts as us, we enjoy just talking about fantasy football. Super fun. Says the person with the most points out of the whole season wins $200. So I got to get something. Dang, that's awesome. That's a big pot. Brandon, the Texans lost to the Titans. Let's take a stack. Says go turn on them Spurs too. Yeah, I am, honestly. CJ Stroud lost to the Titans, not the Texans. Says CJ Stroud was absolutely dog water, and the defense had to pick up the pieces for him, and he still couldn't get it after chances. Yeah, it was a pretty bad game. Liam says, appreciate you, Vince. Have a good night. You too. Again, check in, I believe. I don't know if there's a video going out tomorrow, but we'll see. Definitely on Thursday, and then I don't know if we're going to go live on Thursday night for a game, so we'll keep you posted. Check in the Discord. There might be somebody going live for that Packers and Miami game Thanksgiving night. So go ahead and check in with us. It says, would you rather have Leggett or Pop rest of the season? Probably Leggett. I know that Pop can go off sometimes, but Leggett's going to be more consistent. He's the wide receiver 1 there. And the way the Panthers have been playing with Bryce Young, I think Leggett is going to continue to get a lot of receptions. Maybe not astronomical levels, but he's going to be consistent, getting around those 10, 11, 12 points that you want, especially from a bench guy. He says, I could tell by how sloppy his hair was, so unprofessional that he was going to have an off game. Yeah, sometimes it just happens like that. You know, you're not having the best week, and then you got a game, super important. Or for us, like just regular work week, that's supposed to be a stacked work week. And sometimes we just get tired, man. We drop the ball. It says, all right, Vince, I'm out. Have a good night. Good seeing you. I'll see you on the next live. For sure, man. Bob Show. It says, go live for one of the games. I don't think I'll be live, but if anything, Reed might be live. Maybe AJ. But if they are live, maybe I'll pop in or something. If not, we will see you guys on Monday for Monday Night Football for sure. And then, of course, our video is going to go out Monday morning for Overreaction Monday. What happens on Thanksgiving night and Sunday all day football. So catch us live for sure Monday night for Monday Night Football. It's going to be a fun one again, hopefully, especially when you guys come in. You guys always make it pretty fun. So. But all right, boys, that's it for me. Thank you all for the questions again. Make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel here and watching popped in for the first time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. But other than that, guys, again, hopefully you have a good waiver wire additions here. Hopefully you have some good trades if you can trade like Liam. But other than that, guys, that's gonna be all for fantasy football this week. Let us know, man. Join the Discord too, which want to talk football all the time, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. But other than that, have a great week. Hopefully your team wins this week. And as we always say on this channel, keep on grinding.